Hey everyone, welcome back to the Creative Juggle Joy podcast. I'm Kaylie Edwards and I'm here with my wonderful co-host Delores Naskrent. Today we're diving into the exciting world of setting up your first online shop.
Yes, absolutely. If you're an artist or a creative looking to sell your artwork, we're going to help you navigate those options to set you up for success. So, what are the essential steps for setting up on platforms like Etsy or Zazzle? The number one thing I would say to any artist is to prepare your art correctly. I like to create my artwork in such a way that I have a focal point kind of in the middle of a larger document that allows a lot of margin so that it can be adapted into any shape. So it might be a big square artwork, but because I've got my main image right in the very middle of it, I can actually crop it to be vertical or horizontal, so landscape or portrait, very easily. So that's one of the number one things that I talk about in my classes when you're setting up for platforms like really anything, Etsy, Zazzle, for any other POD sites like Society6, Cardile. That is the most important thing for you to do to start out with. The second thing is to know and have and follow a good numbering system. And then the third thing that I would tell everyone is to take notes, write down all the steps that you take when you are uploading to one of those sites. So have a little notebook or have a note somewhere on your computer where you literally tell yourself the exact steps that you're taking without missing anything. So every little detail.
Yes, because that is something that I forgot to do at the very beginning when I started, and I regret not doing that at all. It's especially helpful if you want to start bringing somebody on to do any admin for you. If I had the money at the time, I would have loved to have somebody just helping, just to upload. If I could sit there and create my art and then just get them to upload and then I can just maintain the shop, that would please me very much. And like you said, preparing your art correctly, yes, leaving margin is so crucial. That's something I don't know how many times I uploaded something and it didn't work.
Oh.
Or I wanted to do like art covers for like journals and notebooks and things and put them up on Amazon, KDP. And I don't know how many times I've put something up and it didn't work because the dimensions were wrong or it was slightly off with the measurement. Yeah. So yeah, get that sorted first before you start uploading. That's a very big point. Don't make the same mistakes. So a few simple breakdown for getting started. If you've not done it before, you've not uploaded to sites like Etsy or Zazzle before. So what obviously you want to create your account. So sign up for an account on your chosen platform. Typically they're free. You have to check some of them because I think some have now got payment plans or they take a fee. So you just want to have a look at that. You want to set your shop preferences, including your language, obviously your country, your currency. Make sure it reflects your target market. You want to set up your shop name. So choose something catchy that reflects your brand and is easy to remember. I would recommend don't go with something super fancy. I would say go with your name to start off with. You can always change it later, and with your name you can pivot as well if you have your name. I started off with something fancy and afterwards it's a bit hard to pivot to something else, especially if you say t-shirts and then you don't want to do t-shirts anymore. It's difficult to change. Add your products. Start adding your products. Make sure to take high quality photos or use high quality mock-ups and write engaging descriptions. Remember to put the key information in your descriptions as well. So if you're doing art prints, make sure you offer the correct sizes that they want and things like that. Anything about shipping costs, make sure you put that in. And remember your visuals are crucial for attracting buyers as well. So some people really don't understand why they're not selling on sites like Etsy, and it's more than likely because your photos aren't doing the product justice.
Yeah.
So really, really look at that. Obviously, set your prices. So price your items appropriately, considering all your costs. So any production, platform fees, shipping costs. Try and make sure that you're adding that into the price as well. I know sometimes it can seem quite high, but you do want to make sure that you're pricing appropriately and you're
Yeah.
making sure that you're gaining a profit. Then you want to obviously set up your shipping settings. I would look at this for your country. It was a bit complicated for me where I'm in the UK, and I had to find somebody in the UK with their shop and see how they did it to figure it out. But you can find people that do it. And then obviously you want to promote your shop then once you're up and you've got your products up. Utilize marketing tools available on the platforms like Etsy does coupon codes and sales features. Make sure you're promoting your products weekly on social media and in other places as well.
Don't forget about optimizing those listings. Make sure that you're making them really searchable. Like you really want to use relevant keywords, or you might as well just forget about it. So just take the time, focus, ask yourself, how would people be searching for these things? Make sure that in your titles and your descriptions, you're giving as much information as you possibly can.
For sure. Like that is a critical point. If you want to get searched, you need to make sure you're using the correct search terms and make sure you're using terms that people are actually going to search for. You have to really think about your customer. What are they going to search for to find your product? Let's move on, I think, to setting up your own website, because I think this is obviously a crucial thing you want to do. Don't just set up an Etsy shop and think that's it, because it's a rented space. I keep saying this. I'm bang on about it. I'm sorry. But you don't want to risk losing a business when you start it if you've not got your product somewhere else as well. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're considering setting up your own website, here's some steps you'll need to follow. Obviously, choose your website builder. There are plenty out there that are free or cheap to do, like the Wix or Squarespace, Payhip, Standstore are all ones that you can use. Even Gumroad, you can sell on there. User-friendly for beginners. They offer templates as well to help you design your site, so there's no excuse. You pick a domain name that matches your brand for building a professional appearance and for getting people to trust you as well. So if you've got the same name across the board, then people are going to recognise you and will be able to start trusting you. Make sure you're adding your products and integrate. If you're doing print on demand, integrate with the print on demand integrations like Printify or Printful. There's also Guten and Gelato, anything like that. These platforms can help you automate the fulfillment process. So you don't have to worry about inventory if that is a route you want to take. Payment processors as well. Another thing some people forget about is you need to set up with the likes of PayPal or Stripe. Check your country, because some of them don't allow some countries. So you want to check what payment processors you can use, so you're providing customers payment securely. And then obviously the final one you'd want to do is SEO optimization. Optimize your site for search engines to help potential customers find you. This includes using relevant keywords, obviously, as you would in your listings, and have mobile-friendly design as well. Then marketing your shop. So when it comes to marketing your shop, utilizing promotional features is key. So like on Etsy, make sure you regularly use like coupon codes, hold sales, and make sure you're using the banner space to promote your bestsellers or any upcoming sales that are happening.
For sure. I think that banner space is underutilized for a lot of businesses, and it's like your own little billboard. You want to have something that really can tell the person looking at it what it is that you do. So you can showcase things that are trending, or you can put your special offers you have going on there. Just use it. Make sure you use it.
Yes, and there's no excuse. Get on Canva and you can find I think there's Etsy banners on there. I'm sure I used one
Yeah.
from there. Or even finding other Etsy sellers. Sometimes they'll have templates you can use, whether they're free or you can buy them as well. If you're looking for some extra inspiration, I recommend checking out some popular YouTubers who successfully sell on platforms like Etsy and Zazzle. There's channels like Crafting with Cassandra. Another one I follow is Dylan Jarvis. It's Starla Moore. She's good. Creative Hive as well. And another one I started out with printables with was Sandra Dye. They share fantastic tips and insights on selling art and products online, and even doing crafts and selling them and printables.
So many sources.
Oh yeah, you can be on there for hours and days, months.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go down the rabbit hole like I did, because I did that very much so before I even got started. The only reason I kicked me into gear was because I had my son and I was like, I need to really do something.
Well, let's talk about some additional tips. Like, I'm sure you've got a million up your sleeve.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for getting your shop up and running successfully. So look for examples of successful shops in various niches. Seeing how others have thrived can provide inspiration for you. A few I've come across, one I follow is Cloud Design Shop based in Texas. They have thousands of sales on Etsy and they've got some lovely products on there. So that's one to look at. Susan Fern Art in Washington, that's another Etsy shop. She's got some lovely prints on there and she's doing well. She's got a lot of sales. One Etsy shop that is still running by a successful creative in the industry is Stacey Bloomfield. Her gingerbread shop on Etsy is still going as well. So those are great people to take inspiration from and have a look at how they're running their Etsy shops.
Mm-hmm.
Some common mistakes to avoid, like not researching your target audience enough. That's one. Neglecting the SEO or not updating regularly as well. Sometimes skimping on product photography and mock-ups can be another downfall for some Etsy shop owners. Those are things to keep an eye on. Make sure you're doing them. Setting up for success. So having a strong shop policy on shipping, returns, customer service helps build trust and prevents future headaches. You can find templates online, you can customize or check out related shops and look at your competitors' policies and customize for your own. That's another way of doing it. Obviously, if it's legal, make sure you get some legal advice first. Don't take that from my word. Social media can drive traffic to your shops, so make sure you're doing that regularly. Share your products and your journey on platforms like Instagram and Pinterest. Showcasing your behind-the-scenes content, engage your audience, show them how you make things, share your workspace, share images or short videos of your products being used. That's a great way to promote your products. Email marketing. So I highly recommend starting an email list early, even before your products are ready.
Yeah.
This way you can nurture your audience and keep them informed about your launch. If you're selling physical or even digital products, make sure to add either a physical note or a digital note with in a PDF document with the link for them to sign up to your newsletter or to provide a free resource or digital product that they can have. That can also give them a coupon code or a space to give them a chance to recommend your shop or products to friends and family. I think that a lot of people miss a trick with that. And I think that's where I missed a trick with when I first started my Etsy shop, is I didn't have, I had an email list, but I wasn't promoting it enough. And that's one that you can definitely look at doing. Seek feedback as well, really early on when you start selling. So early customers can give you so much good feedback, and it'll help you refine your offerings as well and improve the shopping experience. So if something hasn't gone right, you can then change it and improve. So make sure whenever someone buys, you are following up with them a few days or a week after they have received it. Don't obviously send them an email straight away. Make sure they used it first and then ask for their feedback. If you are using your own website, you can automate this with an email service provider with the likes of MailerLite, or there's so many you can use. Make sure to direct customers to the platform they bought from so they can leave a review on the product. If you're using the likes of like Etsy or Zazzle, it'll help others.
That's just something that's so usable. It's so powerful for you to have those, references, those testimonials, those positive words to use when you're trying to create your content and your advertising for yourself.
Oh, for sure. Having feedback being showcased is the best thing for your shop, especially early on. Like, even if you can have friends or family buy from you, and, as long as they like the stuff that you're selling and they can give you good recommendations. Obviously, don't be super obvious with this, people, because I have seen before where it's basically the same last name and it's like 12 feedback on the one shop. You just know it's just all their family. So don't be super obvious about it if you're going to do it that way. But make sure they're genuine. You want genuine feedback on your products, because people will sniff out if it's not. Another thing, obviously, if you wanted to go down the print on demand route, it's super, super easy and helpful. You can utilize print on demand services that integrate easily with popular website builders such as Printify, Printful. Prodigy is another one in the EU and UK. And then you have Gelato and Guten as well that you can integrate with. Some of them integrate with Etsy, and you can sell print on demand products through Etsy with your designs on them.
If you're listening from Canada, check out Art of Wear. They do integrations. Yeah, they integrate as well.
That's even better. Even if you start out just selling printables for your customers, you could offer physical prints as an option on your Etsy shop or even on your website with the likes of print on demand suppliers. Your designs on products using these integrations is so great. You don't have to create the inventory. It opens so many possibilities for products cross-selling and bundling to create increased sales as well. Another tip I would definitely say is manage your time efficiently by dedicating even specific days for, let's say, creating you do on a Monday, or you upload your designs on a Tuesday. Let's say Thursday you do keyword research and marketing, and then you could do fulfilling orders on a Saturday or something like that. Just find ways that you can do specific things, because if you're flitting about between things and you're trying to do everything in one go, it will take a lot longer. I guarantee you it'll take longer. I tried it that way, where I would just create a design, then I'd get it uploaded, then I'd do the keyword research. And by that time, it's like the whole day's gone.
Yeah.
So batch create when you're doing things. Another tip is to make sure you're logging into your Etsy shop as well, or Zazzle shop, or whichever one you have, like regularly. Anything you sell on, uploading new products, tweaking, updating something, whether that's even just changing the description a bit or the banner or keywords in one of your listings every few days to show the platform you are active. Otherwise, if you don't, they won't be recommending you in search eventually, because they'll think you're an inactive shop.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's talk about where to sell your art. I know we've touched on this a bit before. Delores, where have you found success selling your art and your creations over the years? Has anything changed?
Yeah, it has actually. And this is one of the things that happens when you're able to look back at several years of doing all of those things that we've just talked about. When you're first starting out, it's really hard to see which site is doing better for you, because you just don't have the data. You just don't have the information. So you might have like an incredibly good month just before Christmas on one site, and you think, okay, that's the site. I'm going to put all my energy into that site. And then after Christmas, all of a sudden you're selling absolutely nothing. So that's where it is kind of important to try more than one thing. And I don't want to have you trying 20 different things. That's just not sustainable. But if you set your sights on maybe 2 or 3 sites that appeal to you in some way or another, and focus your energy, just like Kaylie said, and be steady with whatever site that is. So for me, it ended up like I was doing Society 6, Redbubble, Zazzle, in Canada here, Art of Wear, and Cardile. And my Art of Wear, I had integrated it into an Etsy shop. So basically, about 6 places that I was working with. And over the years, as time went along, 2 kind of started to just inch ahead of the others. And I'm not even really quite sure why, because I didn't do a lot of marketing or social media kind of stuff, but somehow Cardile and Zazzle started to do really well for me. And Etsy was kind of like in third place, but not super great, but a little trickle of money coming in all the time from there as well. And then now, even more years later, I can definitely say for me, Cardile has been where I have made the most money on print on demand. So it's kind of funny how that works. You know, you really don't know. You can't predict it. And it really depends on the kind of product and what happens after a few months or a few years is that you then have data that you can look at. So you can compare, let's say, what is selling on Zazzle and what is selling on Cardile. Sometimes the product overlaps. There might be something specific, and there's one particular artwork that I did that had something to do with family, and that artwork has done well on both sites. But then there's one that has done spectacularly well on Zazzle. I've had months of selling $500 worth of just that one artwork. And then the other thing is it doesn't sell at all on Cardile. And yet on Cardile, I have found a lot of success in selling artworks for cards that are for mums and for sympathy. So it's really strange, that whole system of trying to figure out POD sales. And it's just tenacity. You just have to hang in there and be steady, just like you said, Kaylie, trying to be active on the platform as much as you possibly can. And then, just watching that data and really analyzing what kind of stuff is working, then doing more of that kind of work for that particular site. You can still upload it to more sites and you can keep an eye on it. But definitely, if on one site, like for me, Cardile, sympathy, what do you think I'm going to produce? I'm going to produce a lot of sympathy cards. So just keep at it.
Yes. Market trends change.
Yes.
Marketplaces change over time. Like Etsy, a lot of people are finding it harder on Etsy from when obviously it first started. There's a lot of people who had great success with it at the beginning, and then some people have found that their shops have started to dwindle over the years. And sometimes that's just because you've not got the eye on the ball with the trends. Sometimes people let slip. And then other times it could just be that the market's changed and doesn't necessarily want what you offer on that platform. But then you might find success on another platform with the exact same product. You just have to test and make sure you diversify where you're selling. Even if it's the same artwork, you can put it on multiple products, and you might find that one product may sell more. Like you may have the same design on coats, bags, and cushions and mugs, and then you find that it works better on a mug. It's literally just trying to find what works. And like Delores says, it takes tenacity. But like platforms like Creative Market and Zazzle provide great avenues for artists to reach a wider audience that you may not find on the likes of social media. Yeah. But remember, it is essential to research which platform aligns best with your brand and what you're offering. And obviously go with products that work well with that platform, like the likes of Zazzle. They do very well in like stationery and party invites and things like that. So have a look at where you can fit in.
I'll tell you what sells the best for me on Zazzle. And it wouldn't have been something I would have ever thought. And for me, it's been Christmas decorations. So Christmas ornaments, tree ornaments for friends. So just crazy, funny ones seem to sell really well. And, it's something I would never have even considered. So that was an interesting thing to learn over the years.
Oh yeah, if you actually look at all their products that they offer, it's incredible the amount of stuff they actually have on there. And
Yeah.
when you actually look at that, you start to come up with ideas then for what you actually could do. Experiment, I would say experiment and find what works for you and what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Finding a supportive community that is also related to that platform you are on is also vital, especially when you're starting out, to get guidance as well. Joining groups or forums where you can connect with other creatives who use those platforms, like on Discord or Facebook. There's groups and things on there for Etsy sellers,
Yeah.
Zazzle sellers. Yeah,
Spoonflower.
Spoonflower. Yeah, they have their own. Just find one. Most of the time, they're set up by that platform as well. It's normally staff members that are running it and team members, so you can get your questions answered and things from them. Just look around and you'll find what you need help with. What has your experience been with this, Delores? Have you in these platforms before?
Yeah, I have. There's a group with both Zazzle and also, what was the other one that I was doing? I think maybe it was Zazzle, where they had a group and we were selling similar items and just sharing the information about what was selling well for us. Oh, I know the other one was Creative Market. So
Yeah.
on Creative Market, this is a little bit different than actually selling your art as an end product. On Creative Market, what I sell is brush sets or asset packs that people can use within the software that they like. So Procreate is one of the categories where I sell a lot of brushes, so digital brushes for Procreate. And I have had lots of success with it. And that was a real surprise to me when I, started selling digital products. It wasn't what I expected I would be doing, but here I am now supplying a lot of artists with the tools that they need to be able to create the artwork that they then sell. So it's kind of, it's a weird thing, but sometimes they're really recognizable items like stamps for flowers, let's say. But I also have experimented so much with Procreate that I've learned how to simulate oil paints, for example. So one of my most popular brush sets that I sell is an abstract art set, which I developed so that I could create my large abstract art pieces digitally. So I can paint within my software, my Procreate, and make it look really realistic. So it was surprising to me that ended up being something that was really selling. And part of the information that I got as feedback was from other sellers. So other people on Creative Market or whatever platform, you could sell the same kind of product on Etsy. I do at this point also sell my brush sets on Etsy and on Design Cuts. Well, there are so many ways that you can be involved with other sellers, and a lot of times they can tell you the kind of thing that they're looking for. So it's kind of interesting because I know one of them was a lady who specifically contacted me because of my brush making skills, and she wanted me to create a brush for toll painting. And so she described, I had never done any toll painting, so I didn't really know how the brush reacted. And so once she told me how it had to work, then I was able to create a product for her. So that's just something I would never have known if I hadn't been in the community and talking to other people.
Oh, I remember you emailing me about that.
Yeah, it's
About that
cool.
lady. Yeah, it was really cool. Like the Creative Fabrica as well. They're like Creative Market, and I think they've got their own communities and guidelines, and they've got guides that you can follow. And if you want help with their platforms, they have so much information out there. So if you need help, obviously look that up for the platform that you're using. Before we wrap up, let's remember that setting up your online shop is just the beginning. The journey of selling your art is a learning process. As a famous guy I follow, Zig Ziglar, said, every sale is a chance to serve your customer better. It's about building relationships, not just transactions. It's about connecting with your audience and sharing your passion. Each step you take is progress, and every experience, good or bad, is a lesson learned.
So true. So true. And just makes me think back of the markets that we used to do and return customers that we used to get. And, you don't see return customers in your first year. But after you've been doing, 5 years of sales and you have these people coming back to buy from you again, that's when you really realize that relationship building is part of what you're doing. So absolutely, take all of this great advice and apply it, because it's lessons that those of us who have been selling for a long time have learned, and we're now able to share with you as an audience. I really thought that was great, Kaylie, about talking about the communities, because you need to keep learning. And when you're checking out what each of these sites has, you'll inevitably find great blogs, and the blog articles are absolutely fantastic and are often written by the people who are selling on the sites, and the information you'll get there is invaluable. So check out the communities and also look for their blogs.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
And just know, everybody out there listening, just know that Kaylie and I believe in you, and we know that you can do this because we've done it ourselves.
Yes, we have. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. Remember to keep creating, keep juggling, and most importantly, keep finding joy in the process.